Friends of our channel and YouTubers, welcome. Answers of an Alien from Andromeda, Video 73, December 18, 2011. Answers and considerations. Friends, I talk to Mithy sometimes at a distance, while I was not available due to chores, but now everything is getting close to normal again. He said to all, "Some of you are disappointed to be in December, and nothing abnormal has happened grandly. Look, if nothing very violent has happened yet, is because many friends are taking care of the main focuses of imminent dangers. You have to worry about your government, which it will be too painful for all of you." As the friend, the Robot 35 asked, what actually may happen with humans in 2012, I can say that your governments, which were hampered by the community Galactica, could not enjoy the natural disasters that were expected on the agenda. This means that they will act ostensibly to pass laws of exception against citizens, and exposing themselves to the yoke of direct observers Pleiadians. The volcanic activity cannot be contained in its entirety. Some supervolcanoes are impossible to be controlled even by the Arcturians, therefore, be prepared in North America and the Pacific because some areas are already degraded rapidly. Thomas asks, will the dwarf star comes, will it be allowed to do its original destructive work, or will it be nothing more than a curiosity for people to observe? In other words, should we be concerned about the dwarf star? Thomas, if you refer to Nibiru's system, it must fulfill its course once released from the galactic community. They depend on a final position of the Pleiadians that will define the timing of events. Everything is related to the next steps to be taken by your elites. Our impression is that after the setbacks caused by the elites in his schedule to depopulate the planet, the remaining protected societies can be adequately prepared to overcome the effects of the passage of dwarf star by the solar system. All this will be set from the beginning of the next solar year, as the system moves as a whole by galactic hemisphere, and the Earth will change the frequency for the new age of Aquarius. The 2012 winter solstice will be the new beginning to your new society. The friend, DC Dome, asked, I certainly accept the possibility of intelligent life in the universe, but why would governments keep this a secret? After a couple of millennia of UFO sightings, no one would be all that shocked. I cannot understand why these very sane governments would spend many billions of dollars to explore our solar system for the most basic life forms, when we have real live aliens working with us. None of this makes any sense. Friends, your governments and your religions are the organizations that control your mind, how you should act and how you think. With technological development and communication at the global level, they rapidly lost a large part of this control, and today still seek to create the environment of disinformation need to cover up the lies accumulated in all these past centuries. You can be sure that most of these projects are not what they disclose. If they were, you would know of colonization on Mars long ago. The facade projects are the golden key to the pseudo-success they had in covering up of information to ordinary citizens, and many died for releasing unwanted detail. All this, driven by a desire to maintain power in the hands of a few, knowing the truth. Elite. The friend Uncle Decrepit is confused about what is described in the Book of Revelations, about the aliens are fallen angels, and he wants to believe in the existence of an omnipotent God, to everyone and everything. Friend, see an example, the billions of cells working together has a body and acting, gives it the ability to move in thoughts. The kidney cells are different from the muscle, which in turn has not the ability to intercom power as neurons, and neither does the resistance of bone cells that maintains the setup. They differ among themselves, as we are of you, but have been put together, and only with these differences it can work well. We are all cells that make up what you would call God. If we can work well together, the God will be always well facing the universes that He, as a set omnipotent, creates and manages. We all cells of God, we come together to defend this God of destructive interference, which, as your bacteria and viruses, try to unbalance the immune system to take advantage, while the body withstand the attack. All those who are against the harmony between the cells, have to be considered as invaders, not welcome in the system. The function of a theological God, is to take care of His creations, and each one of us is responsible for the welfare of neighboring cells to us, because only by doing so, our God will be healthy and can enlighten us with peace and development. This book of Revelations was written by humans on Earth, in an age where knowledge about the origins was not known, and the unknown was disturbing and incomprehensible. The Earth was the center of the universe. Even they did not know its format. It's amazing that after several thousand years, some still be guided by philosophies and novels as old. Mithy Seymour asks, is it true that when the planet ascends, that the Earth will be split into two realities? That there will be a 3D Earth and a 5D Earth, and those with more negative energy will stay on the 3D Earth? Also, is it possible that when the ascension happens that our consciousness will go to another alternate reality? Seymour not. The Earth will move to level 1 of the third dimension. The fourth dimension is present on the planet as another level of quantum energy, where only the disembodied are to be received between incarnations. Do not go there levels of reality, only the first level 3D reality. The level of understanding leads beings to the level of reality that they can observe. Even now on your planet, are people living in various levels of reality. Do not confuse level of reality to dimensional reality, because they are totally different conditions. Mithy, the Vril Society of Nazi Germany, had mediums that were in contact with Sumerian planets around the Aldebaran Sun. What can you tell us about those planets and their inhabitants, and how do they negatively affect the Vril leaders and ultimately the leaders of Nazi Germany? A culture of Aldebaran had initial contact with a group of people, one of which had a telepathic channel opening very well developed, was a daughter of Pleiadians. Meetings were arranged, by the need to defend the Earth humanoid peoples against peoples allied with the reptilians, and that race of humanoids of Aldebaran believed the allegations of contacts, for they had their differences with reptilians as well. The person responsible for the interpretation of technological innovations was the scientist Victor Schauberger, who had the brain capacity to a level 2. When they found that the story was not told exactly what was happening, they cut the technological help to the Germans, removing the conductive material of zero resistance at room temperature, that helped locate in Antarctica. The deposits of this material were again buried under the ice. Thomas has a doubt, did people ever live on Venus? And is there any possibility of life being there now? What can you tell us about the history of Venus, and how it connects with us here on Earth? Thomas, Venus has not been inhabited. He grouped the solar system at about 3 billion years only, totally incandescent, as a small dwarf star, that was captured by the gravity of your Sun. He is still in turmoil and volcanic cooling to form a crust that can withstand any possible form of life. It is cooling towards the poles to the equator, and its high volcanic activity makes its dense atmosphere of toxic gases. He still stands as the Earth was several billion years. CB asked me about a great spot near the Sun, revealed by a solar flare where you see the planet Mercury will pass, and I can say it is nothing. Some reflection is caused by the dynamic image colorization by your equipment. Another doubt of Thomas: what our research is showing is that the heart is 100 times stronger electrically than the brain, and the heart is 5,000 times stronger than the brain magnetically. Does that mean magnetism is a stronger force than electricity, and that is why your means of space travel and energy production are based on magnetism rather than electricity? Thomas, you are referring to a symptom of magnetism. Electricity is nothing more than a practical use of basic magnetism. Electricity does not exist without magnetism. Even in the processes of chemical or frictional generation of electricity, is the magnetism of the intermolecular interaction that generates electricity at the end. You will learn from your development. The magnetic energy has several quantum forms. The magnetism, generated with your minerals, can attract other minerals, but there are ways to unipolar magnetic energy that can act on any subject. A simple example is your gravity, which acts as a magnet attracting any kind of matter. Another example is the levitation of objects, which is a voluntary issue, a kind of directed unipolar magnetic energy, which is opposed to a static magnetic force acting on any matter. These bundles of magnetic energy can carry the quantum energy of the aura of a healthy person to a mental or physical healing of sick people. Expression miracle is attributable to these demonstrations, and are little understood by you yet. Just to explain to those unaware, a unipolar magnetic field is like a magnet with only one pole, north without south or south without the north, is a bundle of magnetic energy that can dynamically change the polarity, making the magnetic energy usable in any condition or a situation required. Brothers and sisters, be well. Thanks for watching. Join our channel. You are welcome there.